I've read a couple things about last year with the Knicks team. They had bad energy or whatever it is, and listen, I disagree with that too. I looked at their effort last year, and I thought they gave Mike Woodson good effort. Listen, if they know of somebody who wasn't giving good effort, then they should use a name. If they weren't giving good effort, then they should use a name. Because those type of statements do, it generalizes, so the public is left to think that they mean everybody. And I guarantee you, Pablo Prigioni wouldn't agree that he didn't give effort amongst a lot of other guys. So I just think, you have to be very careful as an athlete. I mean, they are, you're getting questioned all the time, and anyone can slip and make a mistake.
Yeah.
Heaven knows I've made tons of those when asked questions. But I just don't think you use terms like that, that you didn't give effort, because a lot of people, a lot of players on that team last year would probably say, no, I gave good effort last year.
It's interesting. He also tweeted out later last night, I misspoke, but I don't know how you misspoke there. You pretty much said we didn't give effort.
Well, I think, Jeff, the way I read it was he was wrong, but he wanted to compliment what's happening now so much. He just didn't articulate it well without throwing last year under the bus. That's kind of the way I look at it.
And this is what I think happens all the time. We feel we need to compare and contrast. Instead of just saying, we're giving good effort this year, we're not getting the results we want right now, we're frustrated, but we think it's going to turn because we're doing a good job right now. You can say that. You don't have to say, in comparison to last year where we didn't give effort, we're giving good effort this year. And I think that's where players, coaches shouldn't feel the need to comply and compare and contrast always.
All right, they've lost 5 in a row, and Jeff, I don't know how many of the games you've had a chance to see in depth, but they kind of look out of sync. They don't look comfortable at all in this triangle, which is I'm so sick of the word. And Carmelo's shooting the lowest percentage of his career. What do you think this is?
Well, listen, and this was what happens when systems get overanalyzed. Is no one's talking about their point guard position. Jose Calderon was a major offensive upgrade, and he hasn't played. And so Prigioni missed a couple. So they were starting Shane Larkin. One game they didn't start a point guard. They started 2 twos. So their pick-and-roll game is not nearly what it could be. I mean, Jose Calderon is an outstanding pick-and-roll offensive player who's a great, great shooter. And no one's talking about his absence. That, to me, is one of the main aspects to their up-and-down offensive start. But the triangle, it has a lot of great points. The one thing is it's a jump shot offense. And right now, they have to find ways to get to the free throw line. And they're not getting to the free throw line. And when you play at such a free throw discrepancy like they're having right now, it's very difficult to win. And the biggest reason that they don't have a lot of free throw attempts is they don't have a lot of guys who get fouled. They have a lot of jump shooters. Anthony is the one guy who can consistently get to the free throw line, and he's going to have to figure out how he can get to the free throw line while still maintaining his unselfish play in their offensive system. But I think the number one key to their offensive problems and dilemmas is Jose Calderon is sitting on the sideline in a suit.
At 4-2, you like what you're seeing from Brooklyn?
Darren Williams looks good, playing well. Garnett looks like he's a little bit better than he was last year. Bogdanovich looks like he's a rotational type of player. But again, I think everybody when you're starting to evaluate too soon, what you have to do is wait. I know it's hard to do, but really wait 20 games to see what you have. Because some teams are injured right now. Some teams are healthy and are about to take on an injury. Then we'll see how they react. Some teams are just bad. And some teams, no matter if they take an injury or not, like the Bulls have with Rose being in and out, they're really good.
How about this, though? They're 4-2. Darren Williams is playing well, and Joe Johnson went off on the team today after practice, said, we're being selfish offensively. I think guys kind of exhaust their options, and then when there's nothing else for them, then they'll pass it when they have to. For the most part, we have been very selfish. I like that. They're 4-2 and not resting on their laurels.
I always wonder about when guys say that, though. Have they already told their teammates that?
Yeah, you wonder.
Or are they blindsiding them with that? Because when he scored big against the Pistons down the stretch of that win on the road,
right,
and it was all Joe Johnson, was he saying he was being selfish? Or is it just everybody else is? Pete Carroll, the great coach, had a great statement about passing. He says a pass as a last resort is no pass at all. And if that's what Joe Johnson is intimating, that they're only passing as a last resort, I haven't seen enough to say yes or no of them. But I always wonder, why do they feel – take it to your teammates and take it to your coaching staff and talk it through so that you can come to a resolution. Very rarely does a resolution come by saying it to the media.